am a color corrector hater. A few years ago, somebody said that color correctors were a gimmick and that the makeup industry was just trying to sell us more products, and that's why color correctors. So I decided to take that person's advice and use my foundation as a means to color correct, and I did a wear test. It looked good. So I stepped away from color correctors and started using my concealer, essentially a skin tone concealer, as a means to correct my skin. The reason being, most of the color correctors on the market were not actually sticking or gripping onto the skin to the point where after I use my concealer and my foundation, everything, you can still see that orange tint come through. And it gave like a weird orange tint to parts of my face that I didn't want any orange. So today I am comparing a color correcting stain to my skin tone concealers to see which one of these two will give me a beautiful skin look without that orange hue to it, and if the color corrector can hide all of these without making it look orange, I will go back to using color correctors, because that means that this specific product actually gets stuck to my skin and it doesn't show orange through. We're going to use the under eyes as a means of checking the color coming through, and we're going to use my dark spots as a means of, does the color corrector actually work? Okay, let's go ahead and jump into it. Now, if you are new to my channel, my name is Ohemaa. Welcome. If you are a returning subscriber, hey. I'm really not a color corrector hater, okay? I think the problem or the situation came from me trying color correctors and then trying a different way to try to get a more skin-like look, and then preferring something else over color correctors. Now, a few years ago, whenever I started using color correctors, I did tell you that you can use the right shade of color corrector as a concealer, or essentially whenever you use it to try to hide whatever marks you're trying to hide, it will in turn act as a skin neutralizer that will help you get like a very flawless looking base without you needing like concealers or extra things, especially if you're somebody who doesn't like putting makeup on before you leave the house, but you still want to have that gorgeous looking flawless skin, you know? So I have a few videos out where you can see me applying color corrector and then just applying some powder on it and setting it and, you know, making that like, you know, the let me just get out of the house with flawless looking skin type of a look. Fast forward a few years later, I started using the Black Radiance concealer, and I really liked what it looked like on my skin, especially because it helped me neutralize everything on my skin without me needing a color corrector, a concealer, and foundation. You know what I mean? So I figured let's streamline the whole makeup process and use a skin tone concealer as a means to hide whatever imperfections we want to hide, and if we need it, we can go over it with a foundation and then keep it pushing, right? That way, for makeup beginners, you are not stuck trying to blend a color corrector into your skin and make it look flawless or make it look skin-like before you go in with everything else. One thing I realized was the color correctors that were marketed as used for my skin tone were really orange, and sometimes, or most of the times, the concealers and foundations that we put over it to try to balance the tones ended up not balancing it really well. So then after the makeup is done, it still ends up looking orange under the makeup, which is not the point. I started backing away from color correctors, which is where you can say that my hate of color correctors started coming into place, but I don't hate color correctors, okay? The color theory actually does back it up, but do we need it, especially as dark skin girlies, okay? So let's go ahead and jump into it. This is by no means me saying that color correctors in general are not good, because I'm sure they're usable. Let's see what we see, okay? Now, for experiment purposes only, OneSize has launched new color correctors, and we're going to be using these ones in our experiment today. I like these because they're supposed to be color corrector stains. So I'm hoping that because they're stains, I get to use very little and it gets to stain my skin to where whenever I put my concealer and my foundation on it, it actually disappears and it doesn't show through orange on my skin, or essentially on my finished look. I want to be able to use the product and not be able to detect it at the end of my routine. Now, OneSize is saying these are color corrector stains. I was actually hoping that that these stains would have like a very cool name. For example, I absolutely love the name Cheek Clapper. Like, we have a little info card here, so let's read it. It says that these are the brand new Cheek Clap, no, not Cheek Clap. These are the brand new Ultimate Color Corrector stains, and they are a targeted correction that blends like a dream. The directions, you have to put dots where you need it, and then you have to blend it in, and then you give it a chance to dry down, because you're not supposed to go in directly immediately after you use color correctors, because it needs chance to dry down so it can actually stick to your skin. And then you go ahead with your skin routine. Okay, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, there are 6 shades here, so let's go ahead and swatch them, and then I'll tell you which color is used for what. Okay, so we're gonna start swatching from the deepest to the lightest. Okay, this is the shade Rich Peach, and Rich Peach is for deep to very deep skin tones. It says that it neutralizes the appearance of dark circles. This is the shade Pink Grapefruit. This is for tan to deep skin tones, and it neutralizes the appearance of discoloration. Okay, this is the shade Sunset, and Sunset is for light to medium skin tones, and it neutralizes the appearance of discoloration. Now, the shade Ultra Peach is what we're gonna swatch next, and Ultra Peach seems to have a few more responsibilities compared to the ones we've swatched so far. Now, this is Ultra Peach, and Ultra Peach looks almost white on my skin tone, but it's not. Ultra Peach is for light to medium skin tones. It neutralizes the appearance of dark circles, and it's for brightening. Second to last is the shade Matcha, and can you believe I have never actually had a matcha tea latte, whatever, matcha something. I've never had that. Okay, so this is the shade Matcha, and Matcha is for neutralizing the appearance of redness. I am still on the market to try that matcha powder from Huda Beauty, because I'm like, what exactly can a dark skinned girly use this powder for? There's a use for it, and I will find it. Last but not least, we have the shade Baby Pink. Baby Pink really does look like a pale pink shade. It is fair to light. It's for fair to light skin tones, and it's for brightening. So it seems like the top 2 shades are not for dark circles. So these 2 shades are actually for brightening and or neutralizing redness. So these 4 are the ones that are designed towards neutralizing dark circles and or discoloration on the skin. These are the shades. Based on this shade range, which one do you think is your shade? You know, which one do you think you can use to do something with? Okay, it says to give it 30 seconds to dry down, so that's exactly what we are going to be doing. I give it more than 30 seconds to dry down, and this is what we got going on so far. I am going to try to drag it out. Okay, I'm literally pulling on this thing right now, and it's like not budging. So just doing this is not making it move, but if I put enough pressure, like I'm pushing down so hard my fingertips are red, that's when it drags out. Okay, so I think once you apply it and you share it out, it's gonna stick to your skin and it's not gonna move. Like, I'm putting pressure on this before it moves. I'm probably hurting my skin at this point because I'm pushing so hard. I'm probably gonna get like bruises on my face right now. So it does actually stick to the skin, even though my skin was oily. I can understand where the staining part is coming from. Yeah, this is like stuck on the skin. I'm having to really scrub and push on it. Okay, this one is like not moving. Look at this. OneSize. I wonder what this is gonna look like on, oh yeah, this is matte. It's really stuck on the skin. I feel a lot of tension when I'm wiping it. I was wondering where the stain was gonna come from, and the stain is actually not a stain like, you know, like the jelly staining on your skin. This is like, there's a tech in here that is making it get stuck on the skin. It's drying down to where it's not even coming off with a makeup remover. You're probably gonna need an oil cleanser to get this off your skin because it is stuck. Okay, I'm rubbing too hard. I feel like I'm hurting my skin because of how how hard I'm rubbing it. Okay, it says it's a matte finish, long wearing and fragrance free. Now on the little pamphlet, it says to allow it to dry for 30 seconds, but on the website, it says to let it dry for a minute before applying your product. So I think I give it ample time to dry down, but you can tell that this product definitely has mattifying properties in it. And that's why this part of my face is looking kind of whitish, and it's not because I wiped it. I did wipe the side of my face too, but I'm using my Good Molecules Lightweight Daily Moisturizer. For this experiment, we are going to use the color correctors, and I guess right now we're just using OneSize, so it's going to be OneSize. We're going to put the OneSize color correctors to use on the parts of my face that I'm trying to hide these acne marks. And we're going to use my skin tone concealer on the left side of my face. Okay, so for experiment purposes, OneSize and concealer, a skin tone concealer shade. And this is how I taught my little sister how to do her makeup look. Okay, I do have acne marks right here, so we're going to apply some of my skin tone concealer shade to that. And then over here, and I also have like a little discoloration right here. But I put some on my under eyes, and then I'm gonna drag it. And I also like to put some around my lips because I'm also trying to clear the discoloration around my lips as well. I'm going to let this dry down for a quick 30 seconds. Okay, so let's blow on it. Right. And I'm going to use an LA Girl brush. This is the brush number 109. I'll just use it to blend it in. I'm patting it in because I may not have given it enough time to dry down. And also around my lips. Okay, now because I have so many marks over here to cover with the color corrector, we will use the concealer to also hide the spot on my forehead and on my chin. I hope you can see it. On the chin and right here. Okay, we're gonna give it some time to dry down. This is our after, and this is with concealer that is a skin tone shade as my color corrector. As you can see, dark mark I had over there is completely gone. I have successfully balanced out the discoloration around my lips to where it looks very much like the rest of my skin. My under eyes, although I don't have like intense dark circles, you can see that my under eyes look more balanced and I look more awake because this morning I look very tired. I have not been sleeping very well, honestly. So my under eyes without concealer just makes me look tired. But right now, this part of my face is looking more awake. The color and skin tone is even. And if I were a beginner at makeup, if I'm using my skin tone concealer as a means to fix any discoloration, I wouldn't have to worry about blending it in and trying to cover it up and make it look like skin. So easy to blend in, and you don't have to worry about, does this look natural? Let's use the color correctors. Okay, this is my before. We're putting Rich Peach on the under eyes. And I will actually like to blend it in with my fingers because I feel like it's entirely too thick for it to be something that I can use my brush to blend, because using my fingers will also give me the chance to warm it up and have it blend in really, really well. I did one layer with just my fingers alone. I don't know that I was able to apply enough product on the under eyes for it to make a difference, because I can still see a little bit of whatever it is I try to hide in my makeup using my concealer. So I'm gonna go in over here a little bit more, and let's use the brush. This is Maven Beauty brush. This is a Fashion Nova brand's brush. Okay, this is what it looks like. Now I think I've been able to cover the thing I always try to hide, and I don't want, when I do my makeup, I always have like a dimness to this part of my face, and that's why I started using concealers. Okay, so we're going in with Rich Peach just a little bit, and I'm gonna blend it in. Okay, I have to blend this in. This one you cannot let sit on your skin because of how grippy it gets, and it's also a mattifying product. So if you put it on and you leave it without blending it in, it's definitely going to get stuck and you can't blend it out. So if you're somebody who wants to use the OneSize color corrector stains, don't just leave it sitting on your skin, because you're not going to be able to blend it out, and then you're going to blame the product that it's not working well. Okay, let's go ahead and hide these dark spots. So I'm going to actually spot directly on the parts that need to be color corrected or need to be hidden. Now let's apply some to this part of it, and that, and that. Now I'm going to use my brush to blend it in so that it can not be like orange spots on my skin. Okay, come on. Okay, so the more I blend it, it starts just going away and off the spots, and then the spots are starting to come out. So I'm just gonna cover them up again and just allow it to dry down just the way, exactly where it is, okay? Yeah, we're just gonna let it dry down so that it can, on the under eyes, which is where we're doing this experiment. If I want to just leave and go out of the door, this side works. If I want to build some more, then this side works. Based on this initial experiment, I will say that color correctors are not to be used if you want a lightweight makeup. It says that to apply it, to let it sit for a few seconds, and then go ahead and build your makeup on top of it. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. So we are going to, I'm making sure I have the right concealer. I'm going to apply my concealer on top of it, because usually I like to apply my concealer and everything before I go in with my foundation. Okay, do I leave this part alone? I'm going to apply some of the concealer over, because it says that you're supposed to build up your base essentially however it is that you want to build it up. Mind you, this is a skin tone concealer that I'm putting over everything, and the problem starts happening where you can see the orange is making that part of my face slightly lighter compared to this side, which looks very skin. Give it a few seconds to dry down. I am gonna go over this side of my face with foundation, so that will absolutely help hide the light nature of everything. I'm going to give everything another few minutes to dry down before I go in with a different product. Okay, here we have it. This side is the OneSize color corrector stain with my skin tone concealer over it, and this side is just my skin tone concealer alone. I don't have any primers on, so the shades and the tones of whatever you're seeing are the true shades and tones of whatever products they are. Okay, now based just on these two products, this side has two products, this side has one product. I can tell that this side of my face is looking slightly brighter compared to the concealer alone. It doesn't look very orange because the concealer that I used was a skin tone concealer. It had darker pigments in it compared to a concealer that was meant to brighten my face. So it's not picking up entirely too much on the orange shade. Although the parts of the face that I added the color corrector to is looking like I have light color discolorations in it. I also haven't put foundation over it yet, so that's probably why it's looking like that. I gave it a few seconds to dry down. Patting it in seems to be making it disappear a little bit more, because initially it was looking okay. Here we have it. This is the OneSize side with skin tone concealer over it. So this is both the skin tone concealer and the color corrector, and this side is just the concealer. Okay, I did have some discoloration here and my forehead and my chin. Which side do you like best, just based on the concealer and the color corrector alone? Which side do you like best? This is concealer by itself, and this is concealer with color corrector. Both sides of the skin looks flawless. I really feel like the color corrector with the concealer looks slightly brighter compared to the alone by itself. Based just on this, okay, if you needed to walk out of the house like this, which side are you choosing? Okay, I gave it a few minutes to dry down, and this is what I'm looking like. I actually want to get some yogurt and walk around, and I'm gonna finish my whole face and then we can see. So this is me. After a few hours, I did lip swatches, I did my eyeshadow, and I also did this lip look. And this is what my base is looking like with concealer only as a color corrector, or a color corrector with concealer and everything else on top of it. This is the side that I used the color corrector on and did my regular concealer routine on top of it. This is the side I only used the concealer to achieve the look. What do you think? Do you think the color corrector at this point is absolutely necessary for you to be able to achieve a gorgeous look? Or do you think that with a good skin tone concealer, you will be able to achieve a flawless looking base? Now, for me, I will introduce color correctors into my routine if I want a soft, bright under eye look without me needing a brighter concealer. But based on this, I'm not going to color correct and then use my concealer. I will go in with a full coverage, thick concealer that can dry down, stick to my skin, cover everything I need, and then I am out of the door. But if you're doing a full coverage base and you can handle the extra time, absolutely go for the color corrector. Okay, subscribe to my channel to see more videos from me, and definitely join my channel memberships because it helps support this channel. Don't forget to hype up this video. Thank you so much for watching. Love you lots, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.
Get out the way, who got a watch, who got the time, I'm racing the clock. Even in my feelings, grind don't stop, got big dreams, one